Gonna do a few tests before I start. Music is rolling in. Okay, great. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. This meter. See, now the camera is lagging. Sure. It's the camera. Like, as long as I don't make it 720p, that's interesting. Bad. Maybe that was the problem the whole time. Did something with the camera. I switched it up to be a 720p stretch. Now it's okay. Okay, so let's just leave it like that then. Start soon. I just wanted to set up some stuff because it was just not behaving the way I wanted. Better. Aspect ratio, yes, please keep that. I mean, I'll link over to the other side the same. Nope. Specific to this cam. It's definitely switching. Size of this window. Smaller, so let's see if we can fix that. Be in good shape. Slightly larger. Art will need to do that. Sort of sitting on it, so I need to move the Y up. I didn't even tell you guys why we're here yet. Just kind of chilling out here. Let me bring it from the chat. Let's have it in the chat. Switch over to artist break for a second so we can see the browser. Tracing is an integral part, I'm reading on this side of the screen, of learning to draw because it will make it easier for you to quickly break down your images and start focusing on the fun aspects. It's also essential to learn the different line tools to improve your line weight, quality, simplification of complex shapes. It's critical to practice, otherwise your mind will start to forget. But you don't want that, so let's get out there and build strong links. So that's from me. From Ruben Laura, that's where we're gonna practice this stuff. This page is coming up. Change something. So, oh, that's because I'm zoomed in. Change anything, okay. Laura has this thing called the diet plan, and this is where we're gonna start. However, I need to do a quick audio test, which I haven't done yet. Stream sounds like. So I'm gonna mute this mic and see if everything is cool. And if everything's good, we're gonna continue. So let's see what's gonna happen once this thing starts. I'm gonna mute this mic and see if everything is cool. And if everything's good, we're gonna continue. So let's see what's gonna happen once this thing starts. I'm gonna mute this mic and see if everything is cool. And if everything's good, we're gonna continue. So let's see what's gonna happen once this thing starts. I just lowered the music slightly just because I noticed that it was louder. I don't know why it changes all the time. Sometimes it's louder, sometimes it's not. I just lowered the music slightly just because I noticed that it was louder. I don't know why it changes all the time. Sometimes it's louder, sometimes it's not. I just lowered the music slightly just because I noticed that it was. So it sounds good. So We're back here on the art diet with Ruben Laura, and today is the day for tracing. Diet is a way for you to focus your time. Just lowering my music slightly so you could practice over a period of time. So I have you guys here for another 40 minutes, so let's see what we could do together. He gives us a schedule. You don't need to follow it. As long as you practice this stuff on your own. Maybe an hour, maybe for 15 minutes. It's up to you. So I chose Thursday as my tracing day. And we're going to do this till 10 o'clock or maybe for 30 minutes. I don't know. And he has made a few tutorials and things for you to practice if you want to focus in on any of these things. So let's see what he says here in the caption. Zoom in. It says here, if you think that tracing is cheating, then you're missing out on one of the most easiest and most helpful means of discovery. So let's figure this out together. Actually, one of my favorite exercises as a growing, aspiring artist, if you will. So here it says, give yourself permission to rediscover the joy of tracing. Reading off the bolds, let me put this in the chat so you guys can. As kids, we all traced all the time, but soon the day came when we were encouraged to try to draw on our own. Well, our parents were simply moving us to duplication, and somehow we left tracing behind as if it were some sort of awkward thing. Embarrassing stage we should quickly forget. As soon as we learned that copying other work is bad, tracing became a plain taboo. Skipping on ahead, we can let our mind focus on other important skills like line weight, line quality. Our brain is quietly recording valuable data about the real world that is almost impossible to invent on our own. So, what to focus on while you're tracing? Make sure your tracing time is productive. Focus on one or more of the following skills. So, line weight is the one that we're going to practice. Establishing a hierarchy of importance, an outline for a speech. Well-defined line weight structure. Quickly see important things like before having to process secondary details. So how do you do this, all of this fancy stuff? Let's go back in the slideshow and look at this figure. First, select your topic that you want to trace. Second step, trace the topic. So just take your pen tool and use the line, and use the pen or pencil tool and just ink out all of the lines that are the main details, mostly the silhouette, the outside. He goes in and does every single line here. We don't need to do that. Second step, remove the background. Third step, go over it on top again and get the more important details. Usually the outside details are the thicker lines, and the ones that are closest to the front are even thicker because they're the most important. So you notice that her headband has a larger thickness than the lines in the middle here, or where her hair is. So let's select the topic together and go on Pinterest. You don't have to go on Pinterest, but I'm gonna go on Pinterest because I have a board there of stuff that I want to work with. So this is my Pinterest. Oh, my site is wrong. This is my old thing. So it won't let me update it anymore. Ichi? Change this too. Can I change? Okay, so anyway, in the area, I can go into some of my rock studies and check out the rock formations that I've been collecting. The other day, I think Tuesday, we did one of the rock collections. Let's see. Yes, we did this one. Balanced rock formation. So let's go and do this one again, but this time we're gonna trace it. So let's copy this image and sit inside Clip Studio. So let's leave artist break for a sec. So here's the image. Let's make size. Accept all changes. To do the light table, still haven't set it up, but for now, I think I'm gonna make an adjustment layer. Wow, that was a yawn. To get an adjustment layer set up, you just do Control-Shift-U. Mine is different from yours because I used Ruben Laura's. Just want to select the layer first because I just want it to affect the saturation of the image, not all the layers. So that's important. Here. Oh man, I'm so tired. What happened? I know, because I had breakfast, so automatically my tired spell kicks in. So let's group these. This is going to be our layer. Make a new layer right on top. Reference group. And let's just trace over it, right? Pick any color you want. I'm going to go with blue this time. And probably want to make this full screen so you don't get distracted by everything. This is distracting too. Let me actually just for a sec and just erase this stuff because sometimes it's harder to draw when you have all this stuff, words. Something else here, like a logo. Not important details for us to learn how to draw this rock. That's it. Now, if you want to doodle, loosen up your hands first. So just do some crazy things and use your whole arm to relax all of this. I just go. I went into transparent mode. That's not what I want. So just doodle around until you feel that you are relaxed. Sometimes it'll take you a Zentangle, Zen type of shape to practice to feel and try to do your Zentangles inside the shape, not like what I just did. So let's zoom in on this one really quick until we're gonna swoops, and wow, that's such a poppy color. Lots of contrast there. Here's your little Zentangle, and let's go back to this thing now. I think I'm sort of ready. Okay, so let's do our first initial line, curve around this. So I'm gonna zoom in enough so I can see most of the shape and start tracing. Worry about making mistakes. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to follow the silhouette of the shape. Trying to understand the shape. hand tool. That's our shape. Right now, there are stuff that happens inside this thing. So let's take a smaller pen and draw out the, I guess the faces if you want. So here I'm gonna just do this. I see this shape coming down here. Some other stuff here, like some sediments. Try to stay within the lines. You don't have to draw all of them, just a few. They're kind of like seams, I think you want to call them seams. I don't know what you want to call them. It's hard because it's hard to see this, so let's zoom in so we can see the seam better. Seam, but you guys should correct me if I'm wrong. This way. Too, because it connects to the end. That's good, but you could keep cutting. You see there's so many, but that's okay. The more we cut, the more complicated it gets. Kinda, if you guys use Blender, 3D modeling, do you guys do that? Do any 3D modeling, you can cut into the shape and make more divisions or subdivisions. It just makes the shape more complicated. Like you could go in and cut more here, you see? This is another spot. That's enough. That's enough, guys. Okay, so now we did the first step. Let's go back to this view for a sec and call this this is A, right? This is our step A. We no longer need the other thing anymore. This is it. So what I like to do here is to copy this and paste it and resize it and call this step 1. So I like to break down everything to steps so I can show progress, and then I'll take my P, not my P. I'm gonna take my black pen color, yeah. And I don't know why I did that. And I'm just gonna create a number layer and just number it 1. And are we dark? We're drawing with pencil. Set this. What did I do to do that, huh? So this is gonna be our concepts. So let's make a folder for you. Steps, not really concepts. Just understanding what this is. This is gonna be our work. So I'm just gonna put this as work for now. Doesn't matter. What's the next step? Next step is to go back to artist break and learn what the next step is. But if you remember, there were 2 steps already combined in this one. Just like quickly look at this, you'll notice that A has 2 parts in it already. It has the hierarchy, what's important, which is the main silhouette, and there's another line that cuts up in the front here. Right now, this main line here, I want it to be bolder because it's up in the front, and as lines go out further from the shape, it becomes smaller. So we need that hierarchy. So that's actually something that we need to do right now before we run out. So let's make this the B step, and maybe a different color, darker. And let's go back to pen and see if that works. Yeah. Okay, so let's zoom in on this. You can play with this real estate and just really go at this thing. Just darken your lines. And you can feather it. Sometimes that helps. And pan if you need to, adjust your screen if you need to. Stay within the shape if you need. No, that's definitely staying within your shape. Right, so there, this is the VIP line, the most important thing. Right? That's our sense of hierarchy. The rest of the stuff is detail. Fine. That's that wraps up that section. Let's go back to break for a second. Oh, V's not running his sets. Okay, so now we're looking at the balanced rock from before, and we're gonna move over to Ruben Laura's site for a second and look at the next set of exercises, which is line quality and how do we do it. Line quality separates the amateurs from the professionals. A seasoned artist will always have confident and beautiful lines that keep viewers' attention and makes every piece unique. Even if a drawing is accurate, poor line quality can... Whoa. That's not what I wanted to do. Stay with Ruben Laura. Poor line quality can sap the energy away from its subject matter. So, each exercise, practice lines that vary in weight. Do thick to thin, thin to thick, thick, thin. Oh boy, that's very confusing. Parallel lines, thick to thin. Thin to thin, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin. Thick to thin, thin to thin, thick. Oh boy. Let's just copy this. And then have it as a monument of things we have to practice. But here, parallel lines, concentric lines, gives a diagram of things to practice. I'll walk you guys through all of these, or the ones that fit within the schedule. Draw a line or a curve, then retrace it 5 or 6 times. Okay. Retrace. That's interesting. I didn't try to do it 6 times. Okay, let's go back to active view for a second. Active view. I just made a copy of something because I want to include it on the top. It seems like an important detail that I've missed in the past. Just want to put some text down. So let's make this right so we can see it. Get our favorite manga. White is not my favorite color. Let's make it. Can't read that. Definitely read that. Make until our eyeballs explode. These are the ones we're gonna practice. It's little dashes because I'm not gonna. There's no order here. Do it up. So this is gonna be step 2. Into work, steps rather, and take our pen tool, go into the numbers, switch back to our black color, and label. Right. So we already have our shape. Your shape could be something else. I don't know what you're sketching. Of course, you could share that if you want. So, thick to thin parallel lines, right? because there's so many things that we could practice. So let's make a new layer. This is a new layer in here. Name it or anything like that. Too much work. Go into full screen view, and now we have our zoom tools all available to us. First step, thick to thin. Any direction you want. Thick to thin. Wow, this thing really cuts. Let me just see if I can adjust this a little bit. Setting. Sometimes you have to do that just to see if everything is good. Much better. Okay, parallel lines. Find another spot. Let's practice thin to thick. So I want you guys to do this too. Next one, thick, thin, thick. Okay, so that's like 3 segments. I have to say that like a chant, otherwise I'm not gonna do it. It's like the start is not as thick. Good. Good job. B. Good, good. Got one more to do. Thin, thick, thin. It's like the opposite. Oh no. Thick, thin, thick. I did the opposite here. So let's do another one over here. Thick. Thick. Tough. This thing kind of crashed on me. Again. Thick. There you go. Yo, yo. Let's do another one. No more parallel lines. Let's make it more interesting. Concentric. That. Zoom in a bit. It's R to rotate, just holding down R. So let's try the basic one, which is thick to thin. Thick to thin. Is that all I had to do? Thick to oh yeah, it's just a two-step. Two-step, okay, 2 steps are easy. You could do another one. Good. Try this. Alright, so that's thick to thin. Now I guess the opposite. Some room maybe in here. So this is teaching us how to control how thick, thin, thick. Bit more difficult. Thick. Get smaller, it's hard, so maybe we'll just keep it 2 levels. Alarm is going off. Let's pause this thing. Thick. Gets kind of wobbly for me. 2nd level done. Right, that's 1. And then thin, thick, thin. Do that here. Center is thicker, the outside is not. I feel like that one's not enough. Actually, let's make this bigger. Try not to make it bigger than these lines. I think that would defeat the hierarchy exercise we did earlier. See what other things we can make. How about point to point, thin, thick. Just looking in the browser what I'm doing next. Point to point. Let's find an empty space. Spots here. So let's make some points. Kind of similar to the other stuff, except we have a target this time. So we have to land in the same, we have to land in the right location. The first step. Thick to thin. Okay. Let's do thin to thick. Draw some pointers on the screen. Okay. Perfect. Pick. Let's see. Opposite. Let's do it. No good, no good. Thick. Let's see what else. Hey, come back to the center. That's another thing we could practice. Point to point, we did lines within a shape. Connect the dots. Do we have any place to try it? Maybe here? Let's see how we could do this. Just picking our shape and just doodling on it. It's great. Good kind of Zen exercise before your work starts. Now we're just trying to follow like a curve. So thick to thin, right? Just probably take half of the shape and do it thick, and then half of the other points make it thin. So our half point is going to be half point. So we'll start changing. Uh-oh. Yawning again. Time for a nap. Yeah, good morning. Definitely yawning here. How are you, boar lip? About 8 minutes and I gotta go to work. Got work today. See, thick to thin. Start by pressing hard on that pen turning point, so this one is gonna be thin. That worked out well. Sizes. Spaces to do any more exercises on this shape. Let's jump out of this for a sec. And to artist break. Da, 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 da. Mr. Browser is now the next step from Ruben Laura. Did I give you guys a link? I did in the chat. Again, if you guys want to practice this stuff on your own. Yeah. Thick to thin. I know, right? Simplification and structure. Okay, so Ruben Laura is gonna show us how to break down the shapes that we see on the structure that we chose as our topic. So just use your primitives. Circles, triangles, squares, rectangles. so you can remember to draw the shape again when you don't have it in your image library box. So this lady here, he goes and breaks her down into these shapes that I just described. Shoulders, circle, cylinders for her hands and feet, maybe a box kind of shape for her body. So we're all learning this together. I don't know anything about this stuff. I was just here because YouTube recommended that I go and check out Ruben Laura's stuff. So here we are, just learning how to draw with Ruben Laura. I don't know anything, not even an instructor, just following along and learning the good stuff, you know? So let's move away from artist break for a second and try some of this stuff out. Let's see if it even works. Switch back to Active View. This is our excitement. I should probably make this into a smaller concept. It's ready to go. So what I like to do is copy this and duplicate it, and then merge this sucker and reduce it in size. Here for the people who wanna, point and say, what is this number 3? What is this number 4? This is because they don't know that there's numbers, so that's why make a layer, number it, increase your brush size so everyone could see it. There you go. Number 3. Why is this thicker than this? I don't know. Who cares? Okay, so here. Copy, move this into your steps. Let's make a new layer. These right now. Make a new one with Control Shift N in Clip Studio Paint. Should be similar in Photoshop, I think, because I followed Ruben Laura's stuff, and yeah. Anyway, let's speed this up because V doesn't have a lot of time. You know, guys, not a lot of time. Go to work soon, right now. 4 minutes. So we'll be wrapping up soon. Okay, so here, this top thing. You could say this top thing is a triangle. And for simplicity's sake, the bottom thing is also a triangle. So, because this thing has sharp shapes, you could build this whole thing with 2 triangles, right? So I could say, boom, done, right? But what if I want to make it more complicated, right? But does V have more time to make it complicated? No, he doesn't. So let's just keep going with it. So I'm gonna just take this, duplicate it, and not make a color balance layer, and just reduce it in size. And just push it in here, because this is our shape. This is what is gonna describe. I think this is in Colorado or Utah. One of those places in the West Coast that has interesting rock formations. I gotta check. Okay, so this is number 4. Very good. And this is the final piece, right? Final piece just to understand what it looks like, right? So we did this in 4 steps to try to stick this into our memory. So I guess if you do this enough times, according to Ruben Laura, you will get better at what you're doing, right? So let's save this and go into me mode and try to go back to work soon. Let's chill for a second. We got 2 minutes to chillax and then go to the next thing, which is working like animals. Oh, okay, good. Lights are still working. Yeah, no, not like animals. Yeah, guys, thanks for joining. If you did watch any of this till the very end, I admire your patience and excitement for art. What else? Today is Thursday, so tomorrow I'll meet again at hopefully earlier than today. 8:30 is my goal, according to my schedule. but it starts a bit later than usual. Yeah, so tomorrow is another one of diets. What is it? Initiative? No, intuitive. Name. Wow. But oh, invention. So you start building things that you remember from the past that you've drawn. Probably go with this rock formation that I've done in the past. Yeah. Oh yeah, and this Saturday I will have another meetup. If you guys are interested in prompt drawing, you can meet with us at Imaginative Illustrators of NYC. That's our meetup group from meetup.com, and we get together with a large group of 2,000 members, but we only get like 10 to 15 people. So if you guys are into prompt drawings, go ahead and check it out. It's down there in the meetup, I believe. In the meetup, no, in the about. So I should have a link. Yeah, definitely check it out. Probably should give you a link anyway in the chat. Just do that for you. This way no one's second guessing. So if you guys like to draw collaboratively and share your work with the community of other artists, go ahead and join us. We are over Zoom, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything. So for you, that's it. I gotta run to work. Yeah, guys. So what I do is I turn off the music, and we jump to our loading screen again. So let's do that, and see you around.